the other day if I could post a video more detailed of my helium sticks. So I'm going to try to do this and we'll see how I can work it out. Anyway, the first thing I want to show you is how I carry my straps. I mentioned in the other videos that I have a bungee cord that attaches here and here. Well, what I basically do is I run my straps through the upper brackets or the upper steps and put the knots on the underside, and then I just bring them down here to the back portion here and wrap the bungee around those. Anyway, that's how I carry my sticks. And if I get fatigued or tired, what I'll do is I'll strap that with a carabiner to my actual saddle, and it just kind of helps. But I mean, these are so light, it's never really a problem to carry them. But anyway, that's how I carry my straps and sticks together. So hang on a minute and I'll take these apart and kind of go through the details of them. All right, here we have one stick. And basically what I do here is I put stealth tape, or you know, I just use that cheap duct tape. But what I'm going to use from now on is that Velcro, that industrial Velcro. I really like that stuff. It's cheap, it's readily available, and it's quiet. So I'm going to start using that here. But basically the mods I've made is I put a lone wolf Versa button. Now this one here you can see has a raised bolt. I don't really like those as much as I like these that are flat. All right, the flat ones just stack together, but you can use either or. If you use this Versa button and you're going to stack sticks on it, then understand that on the back side of each stick, somewhere you're going to have to drill a hole to accept that bolt so it'll stack flat. Okay, I've got two that don't have those bolts on it and one that I put on top, so it don't really matter. But you can, I mean, you're going to have to do it. So it's going to stack there. And the second point of contact is right here on these two bolts right there. Okay, and what you'll see is, with each corresponding stick, I have two holes drilled into it to accept those bolts when I stack them together. Those bolts go. It's kind of hard to show this in detail, but you know, once you line these up, those bolts go right in those holes like that. Okay, now something else that's pretty important is when you're wrapping your rope around these sticks, don't wrap it up top. It'll get in the way of your Versa button. So what I do is I go around the bottom steps, around the bottom bracket, back around twice. That's just the length of rope that I use, and I come around one time, make a loop, and then I'll wrap it underneath one of these cords, and that holds it firmly in place. All right, but the Versa button, the rope mods, and then drilling is what I did. Now, someone asked me how I made these steps different, and you can't see it on this one, but on this one here you can. There actually was holes for the original steps. They're right here. So what I did was I cut off the top of the stick. I took the two steps from the top of the stick and I moved them to 21 inches. Okay, and I have an extra set of steps now for each stick because they come with 3. So mine are actually 21 inches from bolt to bolt. That gives me a 21-inch step. I'm 5'10", and that's just a comfortable step for me. I made my green straps to where they're also just about, now these ones I just made up, these are brand new straps. I replace them every year. These are actually a little bit longer than the 21 inches. They're about 23 inches, and you know, I'm comfortable with that. But you know, in the dark, when it's, if you're not trying to use light to set up and stuff, I recommend keeping these straps the same length as your step. And then what I've done, this is kind of silly, but when I'm climbing, when I was setting all this up, I stood at a pole and let me get out of the sun, and I actually measured these things, and what I did was I marked off 21 intervals, so I could figure out in the dark when I'm sitting against a tree that my top of my stick has got to go right here at eye level for it to work out to 21 inches a step. Then when I climb up and get on the next set and I'm standing on the top 2 steps, I know that the next step goes right at eye level again. And that way, when I climb up, I don't care if I'm using 2 sticks, 3 sticks, 4 sticks, or 5 sticks. When I get to each one, I know exactly where to put that stick so that I know I've got 21 inches between each step, even if it's a rope or if it's dead air space. So, you know, I hope that this kind of explains my helium sticks. I really love these sticks. You know, I used a lone wolf for years. The advantages of these, in my mind, is 1, of course, they're lighter than lone wolf sticks. 2, the 2 steps at each level. I mean, I don't know how many times in the dark on a lone wolf, on some of the hard bark trees that we hunt on down here, I would have that bottom kick out on me when I was putting weight on one step. I didn't like that. So, I mean, I really, really appreciate the fact I can't open the, well, I guess I can, but it's hard with the rope. I really appreciate that opening up at each level and being 2 steps. Something else, when I cut this off, I took it on a grinder and I made sure I ground and took a Dremel tool and really smoothed off all these edges so there was no sharp edges. But that's really my modifications that I made to these Helium sticks. I've been using these for 2 years now, 2 seasons. I wouldn't go back. I will say this, I do like the Lone Wolf bracket, tree bracket, a little better in how it's designed. I think sometimes it grips the tree a little bit better. I'm not 100% sure, but I just think it does. These tend to, on a real icy, cold, hard bark tree, they make a little noise as they seat down. Whereas the Lone Wolf, I didn't get quite as much, but it's really not that noticeable. What I do like about them is how far they sit out from the tree. The Lone Wolf end up about this far from the tree, where these are quite a bit further. So, man, I'm not going back unless they come out with something better than this, which I don't know how they're going to top this. I'm not going back to any other stick. This is the stick I like and the stick I use. Now, once again, we're making changes to a manufacturer's product, so I can't endorse this. I don't recommend anyone alter their sticks. It voids the warranty, their safety things and all that. I just can tell you that for me, 21 inches between steps, working with these green straps, it just works for me. It works best. And something else I wanted to show you on these green straps. I tie a simple overhand water knot. I fray the ends and I burn them. But this is probably the best thing that I've ever done. I do a lot of drip irrigation in my organic gardens, and I took a piece of the, gosh, I think it's 1 inch or 3/4 inch pipe that you use for drip irrigations that you poke holes through and put the emitters on. Anyway, I cut out 8-inch sections of that to use as a kind of a stirrup. What I love about this is it's flexible. It makes a little noise, but I mean, I'm hitting that pretty hard. That's as much as it makes. It's not like a loud plastic noise. It's kind of a soft rubbery noise. But what I love about this, hanging off, let me just demonstrate this. Hanging off both steps the way I put it on the tree. Hang on just a second, let me get this all lined up for you. Hanging on the tree like I do right there. I always put the knot right in the back of my stand like that, over the bracket, over the 2 steps. What that does, let me put this against the house so you can see. When that's on a tree, that step is hanging out away from the tree to where my foot can get in that easily. And something else that I like about this is in the event that I can't put it in there, I can put my toe in here and twist this, and even if it puts a loop in the stirrup, it still holds my foot and allows me to get down. I tried some of the other mods, and on the Lone Wolf with only 1 step, it hung crooked, it'd be up against a tree, it was hard to get my foot in. This is 10 times easier and safer. So you can see 21 inches from the ground, 21 inches up to the first step, 21 inches to the second step. And here's my eye level adjustment. Now you can look and see that works out to 21 inches for each one. It don't look like it's as high, but that's about a foot up. There's some dirt and stuff there. But anyway, that's my Helium Hawk stick. Make sure it's the Helium brand. They make 2 brands. The other one's a little bit heavier, and to me it just don't work as well. So let me know if you have any questions on this. Hopefully this turns out all right.